Welcome to The Gathering.
Welcome to The Gathering, and the third installment in our series of the American Renaissance. In today's podcast, we'll be looking at reforming education. In our first two episodes, we spoke about dismantling the deep state and returning power to the states. Those are two issues that we need to address right now, in present time. But what about the future? How do we ensure that the changes made today will last and continue to empower our nation? It can be summarized in just one word: education. There's a famous quote by the poet William Wordsworth that merits our consideration in this regard. "The child is the father of the man." Think about that. What a child learns growing up will influence his thoughts and behavior for the rest of his life. And what many students are learning today is literally dangerous to their well-being. In determining what our children learn, the NEA, the National Educational Association, or Teachers Union, is the single most powerful force in shaping educational policy in our public schools. But they've not only failed in their primary mission of educating our children with lowered test scores and graduation rates, worse yet, they've introduced what can only be described as a toxic curriculum, a series of ideas that not only fail to give children what they need to navigate life, but also confuse and disable them from living healthy, successful lives. The NEA is in favor of transgender education for grade school children, and under the mantle of freedom of speech is in favor of books in grade school libraries that describe in great detail sexual encounters. Additionally, under the mantle of social justice, they advocate for diversity, equity, and inclusion, along with other policies of racial discrimination. What is missing from the curriculum in too many schools is an emphasis on those fundamental subjects which all students need in order to navigate life successfully. A curriculum centered on math, science, literature, and history. Math and science give students the tools they need to understand the modern world, one dominated by technology, medical advances, and a deeper understanding of nature. They also teach evidence-based reasoning skills, the kind that are needed for good judgment and making good decisions. Great literature, particularly biblical literature, answers the questions of how we should live our lives. These books contain the accumulated wisdom of centuries, the kind of wisdom that is the foundation of Western civilization. In great books and the Bible, we find not only the rules for living our lives, but also how to treat each other. They explore the very nature of what it is to be human and live a humane life. The study of history gives us insight into some of the greatest human events, the type of events that shape the way we live. History shows us the triumphs and tragedies of politics, the causes of war, and hopefully how to avoid it, and gives us the ability to learn from the past. But no curriculum would be complete without the addition of civics. Though math, science, literature, and history are critical in the development of the individual, it is in civics where we learn our responsibilities to the community and what it means to be a citizen in a democratic republic. Sadly, this is missing from too many schools' curriculum. What is so powerful about civics education is that it equips students to be active participants in shaping their nation. It is here that they learn the responsibility of not just voting, but being active participants in the problems and opportunities that their communities face. It is in the study of civics that they realize not only how powerful they can be in shaping their own lives, but also in creating thriving communities. In recent years, parents have become more aware of the curriculum problems and have become real advocates of reform. Moms for Liberty is a great example of this movement. They are engaging nationally in school board elections and have been very effective in replacing progressive board members with members more interested in the education and well-being of their students rather than ideology. They're a good example of the fact that in all of these issues that we've been discussing in the American Renaissance series, awareness of the problem is only the first step. What is really needed, desperately needed, is action, consistent, deliberate, and effective. In our final installment, we'll be discussing what you can do to make the American Renaissance real. We'll give you concrete steps that you can take in getting involved. And never forget that in our American history, it was always a small group of patriots working together that changed the course of history. There's so much you can do to change things. See you in the next podcast. For The Gathering, I'm Leonardo Radomile. Thanks for listening, and if you like what you heard, give us a quick thumbs up and subscribe. To learn more about The Gathering and our free course, check out our webpage. You'll find the link below.